Personally, I'm not a true crime podcast listener, but I can never get around the conversation of true crime without hearing the words favorite and murder just followed after each other. In January 2016, co-creators Georgia Hardstark and Karen Kilgraf created the podcast My Favorite Murder. 6 years, a few tours, one book memoir, and one entire podcast network later, the duo have been able to spend part of their careers just talking about little anecdotes in their lives as well as homicide for fun. However, is this podcast or any other true crime podcast for that matter good for us to be constantly listening to? Reviewing the genre of true crime as something that can be laughed off can be very damaging, especially if you're a female presenting person. Emma Bergquist, an author based in New Zealand as well as a survivor of a knife attack, wrote an article titled "True Crime is Rotting Our Brands." In the article, she inexplicitly calls out My Favorite Murder, stating, "Stay sexy, don't get murdered" is the tagline of one of the most popular true crime podcasts, as if being murdered is a choice women make, or a risk that can be avoided if we're just smart enough. Women aren't stupid. We women take all precautions. We lock our doors and we let our friends know where we're going. Of course, women aren't stupid. We don't listen to true crime podcasts with the intent that we're going to get murdered. In fact, after listening to these true crime podcasts, a lot of female listeners actually take safety measures without even noticing. This is according to Amanda Vickery, who is a crime psychology expert and an associate psychology professor at Illinois Wesleyan University. Vickery explains more about these safety measures that women take, suggesting that women are enacting tips and tricks that they observe during these shows without realizing that it's their very need to protect themselves that could be drawing them to the genre. It can become a cycle. They fear being a victim of a crime. They turn to these podcasts or television shows to prevent it, which exposes them to more crime, and it could even raise their anxiety about being a victim. So, what can be done about easing this anxiety? I don't know. I thought that by the end of this episode, even I would have a clear answer as to how to lessen anxiety about being the victim of a crime, but it just isn't a possibility. Crimes do happen. Whether it's domestic violence or a random act, women take all precautions and can still end up dead. Take Sarah Everett as an example. So I guess I'll leave you with this. If you're in a conversation with someone about true crime and they ask you what your favorite murder is, or your favorite case, or your favorite serial killer, or something like that, say none. Because it's weird to have a favorite murder case. No one should have a favorite murder. That's weird.